He lived a rather short life, but that didn't stop him from becoming a pop culture phenomenon. He was the first one to introduce martial arts to the world of cinema. He changed forever the way Asians were presented in American movies. Definitely, he was the first actor who managed to bridge East and West and find a common language for both audiences. Welcome to Personality Matters. I'm Maria Martini, and today we'll be talking about Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was born on November 27, 1940 in San Francisco, California. His family was originally from Hong Kong, but his father, who was an opera singer, had the whole family with him in the United States while he was on tour, just before Bruce was born. The family ended up going back to Hong Kong when Bruce was 4 months old. Interestingly, Lee got his name from a nurse in the hospital. He would never use his real name, Lee Jun-Fan, ever again. Bruce was introduced to Hong Kong cinema at an extremely early age. To be more exact, at the age of 1, he appeared in the movie Golden Gate Girl. At the age of 9, he played in the film The Kid, and by the age of 18, he had already been in 20 movies. As a teenager, Bruce got involved in several street fights, so his parents decided to enroll him in martial arts, which they thought would allow him to curb his teenage passions and get into studying Kung Fu. He was guided by Master Yip Man. The master was not okay with his students fighting in street gangs. Instead, he organized frequent competitions. Despite that, Bruce was often involved in street fights. One of them turned really badly. Supposedly, he beat up the son of an influential triad family, which definitely was not okay back then. So Bruce's father decided to send his son to the United States for his own safety. You better control your emotions if your father can't afford to send you to another country. In the States, Bruce settled down in Seattle, where he continued his studies at a high school and then later entered the University of Washington. At one point, Lee began to teach martial arts, namely Kung Fu. He instructed mostly his friends and fellow students. When he dropped out of the university, he concentrated full-time on martial arts. For that, he even opened his own martial arts school, and not long after, he met his future wife, Brenda. Not surprisingly, because who can resist a martial arts teacher? In the following years, Lee founded 2 more schools in Los Angeles and Oakland. He was known as a caring teacher who accepted his students as part of his clan. In 1964, Lee was invited to attend the International Karate Championship at Long Beach, where he performed his famous 1-inch punch. Lee placed himself in front of a volunteer named Bob Baker. Behind Baker, there was a chair. So Lee took his posture, extended his right hand to Baker in such a way that his fist was an inch from Baker's chest, and then without folding his arm, Lee punched Baker. The latter could not handle the punch, lost his balance, fell into the chair, and under his momentum, rolled onto the floor. Afterwards, Baker asked Lee to avoid performing the punch again as he suffered from chest pain for a few days. But for Lee, the demonstration at the Long Beach competition paved the way for his American movie career, as he was spotted by television producer William Dozier. So eventually, Lee debuted in the TV show The Green Hornet. Even though the show lasted only 1 season, it became popular among American audiences and was actually the first popular American show with Asian-style martial arts. Of course, Lee also gained popularity and launched a career in show business. Interestingly, the show's director wanted Bruce Lee to adopt a more movie fighting style with fists and punches, but as a martial arts master, Lee said no and insisted on fighting in his own expert style. However, his movements were so fast that the camera could not capture them, so Bruce had to slow them down. Well, after the show ended, Bruce had a hard time getting a new leading role. Once, he was turned down because of a stereotype. The producer didn't believe that an Asian actor could attract the audience, so he didn't give the leading role to Lee. Around that time, Bruce managed to sign a 2-year movie deal in Hong Kong, so he moved there with his family and starred in the movie Big Boss. Lee portrayed a factory worker who took on dangerous drug dealers. Definitely a hero lives in each of us. Anyway, soon Bruce released a new movie called The Fist of Fury, and these 2 films were incredible box office successes in Asia. Later, Bruce even created his own movie production company, Concord Production, that made the famous Way of the Dragon. It was in this movie that Bruce fought against Chuck Norris. No doubt one of the most, or maybe the most, iconic movie fight of all time. Oh yeah, we all remember that one. In July 1973, Bruce Lee died at the age of 32. Mystery shrouds his death. Depending on the version you believe, some suggest that he was murdered, others believe he was cursed. But the official cause of his demise was a brain edema that was provoked by a reaction to a prescribed painkiller. Even though Bruce Lee died before his time, he became a pop culture phenomenon. He was the first one to introduce martial arts to the world of cinema. He He changed the way Asians were presented in American movies, and no doubt Bruce Lee was the first actor to bridge East and West and find a common language for both audiences. Thank you for watching Personality Matters. We talk about people who made the world. Until next time, I'm Maria Martini.